Good morning, everybody. What's happening? Welcome back to another live stream. Obviously, a huge week ahead. Glad to have everybody with us. Go ahead and hit the like button for us as you come in the door. You guys know the drill. Um, a lot to get to. We've got the Bitcoin ETF heating up right now as we speak. A lot, and I mean a lot to dive into here this morning. So happy I'm able to do this every single day with you guys. Seriously, it is such a blessing. I'm super grateful. I can't even put into words what this means for us right now as crypto investors, how early we are to this thing. We are just scratching the surface. You know, I made a video yesterday talking about what could be coming after and just kind of a warning that, hey, a lot of attention is going to be on Bitcoin here. Don't be surprised if Bitcoin continues to gain dominance. Some altcoins bleed a little bit in the short term. We are seeing the overall market bounce a little bit, though. We are seeing some altcoins get some love, too. But I think once this Bitcoin ETF is approved, we're going to see a lot of capital start flowing into Bitcoin only for a little while. And we could take advantage of that, both in the short term, long term. If you guys were looking to trade, obviously, there's going to be an angle there as well. But, you know, for Bitcoin, for me, it's long term, baby, right? It is looking at it future. This is, you know, how I look at it. But for altcoins, it's going to be a little bit different. I think early on, it's going to be a little shaky, but we will get, that push into altcoins once this Bitcoin ETF news is out and once we get kind of beyond this. So this is what we've got here this morning. Eleanor puts out, we're now past the official SEC government submission deadline of 8 a.m. and all issuers, aside from Hashdex, which will follow them, have submitted their updated S1s. Okay. Again, if you guys are just checking in and seeing all of this, these are kind of just the final, dot the I's, cross the T's, and we are here at the finish line. Grayscale's CEO, I don't know if you guys saw that. He put a tweet out today with just the eyeballs. That was pretty hilarious. Basically, getting people excited about what's happening. So it says, so unless there's a last minute filing from them today, there are the issuers that have handed in all their homework, and would, in theory, be ready to launch this week. And we've got a lot of big players here. We've got Grayscale, we've got ARK /21 shares, we've got BlackRock, we've got Bitwise, VanEck, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Fidelity, Valkyrie, and Franklin, all ready to go. These are the issuers, again, that have handed in all their homework. So everything that has been asked of them, they are ready to rock and roll. What is going on, everybody in the chat? Let me say hello to some folks here as we're rolling in. What if it's postponed? We'll see. The deadline is not today. It's not tomorrow. It's Wednesday. So we could see this drag out a little bit until tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll see. What's up, Big Z? What's up, Juba? How we doing, man? Crypto Chevy, good morning to you. How you doing? Love from Texas. Casey, what's going on? Jerry Molinari in the chat. My man, Jerry, what is going on, brother? What is going on? Hey, Zach, you think altcoins will pull back with BTC ETF approval? So that's what we were just talking about, Vito. I do think we could see, Bitcoin dominance go up in the short term. We'll go over and take a look at it right now and what we're looking at. Right now, Bitcoin dominance sitting kind of where it's been for a little while. We're sitting at nearly 53% dominant. We've been fluctuating anywhere from 50 to 53% on that Bitcoin dominance. And I do expect some more inflow into Bitcoin. And here's the thing. We haven't seen people really take profits from their altcoin gains yet. I do think there's an outside chance we could see that start to happen. And I think it already has. And then they're going to pile drive that capital that they have that they've made back in 2023 into Bitcoin to chase this wave right now. Because here's the thing. All of the attention is going to be on Bitcoin here in the short term. It's all going to be focused on Bitcoin. But after that is when I think we'll really start to see an altcoin rally. And we've mentioned the biggest altcoin rally probably won't come until we get past the Bitcoin halving, right? That's where we'll really start to see, I think, alts make major moves. But I do think Bitcoin is going to get a lot of love here out of the gates with the Bitcoin ETF. and rightfully so, right? So I think from a institutional standpoint, from the big time investor standpoint, they're going to be looking at Bitcoin and Bitcoin only for a little while here, right? By the way, as we speak, Bitcoin just crossing back over $45,000, and this is just amazing to watch, man. It's crazy. It's crazy volatile, man. This market, right? I mean, yesterday a lot of people got shook out, but here we are, Bitcoin bouncing right back. We're going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart where we could go. I think we're going to see a $50,000 Bitcoin with this news at some point. I am fully ready to take advantage. I loaded the boat a little bit more this morning, and I'm ready to go. Okay, I mentioned to you guys, I was waiting to kind of see what was going to happen here. And now that we have pretty much everything in place, again, coming from Eleanor's tweet here, all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed for a lot of these guys to get accepted. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the applications, of the applicants rather, they're ready to go. Because of that, I do think we're going to get a short-term pump. And if we break out of this $46,000 range, look out, because I do think we're going to make a push all the way up to 50,000 here in the short term. We're watching Bitcoin very closely here, obviously locked into all the news and information. So yeah, Vito, that's my kind of take on that. Alts are going to bleed for a bit, in my opinion. I think so too, Jerry, and that's okay, right? We could take advantage of this. That's why I'm power driving some capital back into Bitcoin right now for the short term. I'm going to take advantage of that. And guess what? Eventually, I'll take a little bit of those profits off the top, stick it over in USDT, and get ready for altcoins to run. That's how I'm playing this right now. You guys do know, though, I buy Bitcoin every single day. So even when I take profits out of Bitcoin, it's simply just to play the altcoin market and eventually get that money back into Bitcoin when I hopefully turn that into some more gains, right? And it allows me to buy more Bitcoin. So ready for the next generation ahead of us. Michael Reeves, good morning to you. Jay, good morning, man. Big day for Meta, or excuse me, not Meta, Mainnet Z yesterday. I see the avatar, man. Huge day for Mainnet Z, the layer 1 blockchain. Love it, man. Jay saying, maybe you clip this up and show it to the army over there. Love being a validator on that new blockchain. There's so much hype in the market right now, which is scary, Zach. What do you think? Well, I think, my funny hours, I think it's all about not getting too high or too low right now. I think that's really what it is. Having a plan. Don't let your emotions control you. I just let you guys in on what my plan is, okay, right now. I am playing Bitcoin right now. I'm going to play the Bitcoin pump. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm perfectly fine with that. But yeah, some altcoins, I did take a little bit of profits off the table to close out 2023, put it back in USDT. And now I'm taking that capital that I made, some of that money I made in 2023, and I'm putting it into Bitcoin to chase Bitcoin a little bit. And as you guys, know, as long as you can have a plan and stick to it. And I think having short-term and long-term plans, that's what I have as well. My long-term plan, obviously, I'm going to own Bitcoin, Ethereum, Caspa, some of these top plays for a long time. But in the meantime, I could play what's going on. I could play the narratives and I could make some money and able to, stack my chips a little bit higher. So I think that's really it, man. Have a plan. Don't get too high, too low. Don't make any irrational decisions. Morning, Zach. Hello from the UK, Liverpool. Good morning, man. How we doing? Good morning. Valkyrie already has a Bitcoin ETF. Will that change? It's on Robinhood. I don't know about that, Roberto, to be honest with you. I don't know if that will change now that there are some different standards set in place. Probably. My thinking is yes. What's up, Z? Would an ETF approval mean a higher total crypto market cap in the long term? And if so, how high could the ETF take the market, not counting the halving event? Well, Nate, I think that's the $1,000,000 question, right? I think that's the $1,000,000 question. I think here in the short term, we're going to see a Bitcoin pump. There will be profit taking troughs, though. There will be points in time where we'll see profit taking happen. There's no doubt about it. Keep in mind, people have not yet taken their profits from the 2023 gains. We went from 16K all the way to $45,000. People have not taken profits. Why? Because they're waiting for this Bitcoin ETF, because they know that the bus didn't stop at 45K. Now, I took a little bit there just in case, not a lot. I took a little bit just in case. Okay. and I'm ready to buy if and when we get that 20 to 30% dip, which I think is coming eventually. I think it'll come after the Bitcoin ETF a little bit, after the hype dies down a little bit. I do think we'll see a little bit of a pullback eventually, right? So, in terms of where the market cap can go in the long term, I mean, the sky's the limit here with the amount of money that's coming in. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to project that. I mean, overall market cap right now is at 1.67 trillion. I believe we were over what 3 trillion back in 2021. I mean, I think we can make a push toward 10 trillion. I think this could be a $10 trillion market cap globally ahead of 2024, 2025 top. I think that's a pretty good estimate in my opinion. We'll see, right? So, what is that? About a 7x away from here in terms of our market cap. A lot of that capital is going to flow into Bitcoin to start, right? So stoked it's finally happening. Been hanging through this bear market. Thank you for your hard work and knowledge you've bestowed to us. We're all going to be jumping for joy by the end of 2024. Jerry, I appreciate that, man. I'm just trying to do my best, trying to do my small part, man. And it's exciting, man. I'm so happy to be here with you as well. Good morning to everybody out there. What's going on? Let's freaking go. Gary, what's up, man? I appreciate you sharing your investment strategies. You bet, man. Always, always. A rejection in ETF will send Bitcoin to 32 to 35K, causing panic. It certainly would, J-Lo, and I'm ready. I'm prepared for that. And that's what I mean, really. Just kind of preparing yourself for a number of different scenarios, I think is crucial right now. And one of those scenarios, outside chance, right, J-Lo, that it would be rejected, right? And I think you're right. I think we would see a big pullback in Bitcoin, at least to 38,000, probably lower. And if that happens, I'm ready, right? I'm not hoping for it, but I'm planning for it, right? So I always say that, plan for all different kind of scenarios, be able to react and respond quickly because you've taken all of those scenarios into account. And then you don't have to panic. You don't have to let your emotions run wild. You could just obviously make the play that fits that, narrative. That's why I'm still sitting on some dry powder. Because if we're going to get that big drop, like as you're mentioning, to 32, 35K, if that happens, I'm ready because I am going to be a big time buyer. That means altcoins will probably bleed even lower, and I'm going to be super excited to take a look at that market as well. Take a look at Peak. I'm not sure what that is, Caesar, but we're talking about Bitcoin ETF right now and deep diving into this. Good morning, man. Good morning. So stoked. It's been a couple years since this bear market started. Been hanging tough since early 2021. Thank you for all your hard work and knowledge that you've bestowed to us. Fourth quarter, 2024, 2025. Love it. Love it, Jerry. Absolutely love it. Actually, ETF coming for the reason, what's up, meme coins? That's what I was just mentioning at the top. I think meme coins, altcoins in general, I mean, you're going to have some that run no matter what. The cool thing is we're seeing Ethereum run a little bit. Let's take a look at some of the top gainers. No secret here, right? Stacks is up here as the top gainer in the top 100. What is Stacks? It's the crypto bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin. Stacks is very tied to Bitcoin. Absolutely love this as a contrarian play. Not a lot of people talk about it. Stacks is a really important crypto, though, allowing for smart contracts on Bitcoin. So that's why that's up 30% in the last 7 days. Had to get a sip of coffee in there. If you haven't hit that like button as you guys are coming in, or if you've been here for a while, go ahead and do that for us. Definitely helps us out. ICP is back. Look at that. ICP making a nice run here, guys. And we're going to talk more and more about internet computer. Let me know if you guys are bullish on ICP down below in the chat. Injective is up there. VeChain on the list. Interesting. You see Render there, Algorand. But all in all, we don't have a ton of altcoins running, right? And that's really the moral of the story here. We don't have a ton of altcoins running with the market coming up. Usually on a different type of day where we don't have all the Bitcoin ETF centric news and excitement, when Bitcoin starts to go up 2 to 3%, usually we have a number of altcoins that are up 10, 12, 15, 20%. The reason why we don't have that is exactly what I outlined earlier on in the stream when we first came on. This is all about Bitcoin right now. This is all about BTC. And the capital is going to flow into Bitcoin right now before anything else. And I think that trend will continue a little bit even after the Bitcoin ETF is launched. And then eventually we will get a profit taking spot. There's going to be a spot, which I think, whole round number, psychological level could be 50,000, right? We get up there, we test it a little bit, and then we come back down, and we could see a 20 to 30% dip in Bitcoin's price from there. Would not shock me at all. Then all of a sudden, that re-triggers kind of the next big leg, and that is when altcoins really start to find out. We start to find out which altcoins some of the institutional money likes, right? Shib Burns, what's up? Let's go. BlackRock already bought. They're going to use their ETF to distribute on retail. I agree. We know for a fact, Henry, that BlackRock bought Bitcoin. Okay. How much did they buy? I don't know. But this candle right here, guys, this candle right here back on October 23rd, this is BlackRock buying Bitcoin. That was BlackRock buying Bitcoin. And I think they started buying down here at 25,000. When we were getting all this consolidation here, I think BlackRock was buying on this pop, and definitely we know they were buying on the 23rd. And here's the thing, institutions were buying a lot on the 23rd. If you go back on the charts and you look at October 23rd for all the major alts as well, they all freaking pumped. They all pumped like hard. BTC ETF stacks to the moon. What's up, DeMac? Yeah, there's no doubt. Look at that October 23rd date and you tell me what happened that day. Because that was not people like you and I, just normal Joes, buying up Bitcoin and buying up all the altcoins. October 23rd was wild, man. We had crazy price appreciation across the board. So my buddy could be joining me here. He's joined me in my last couple live streams. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mark from Not Your Father's Capital, but he could be joining us here in just a few. I think he's on the road in the car, but I think he's going to be popping on and giving his thoughts on what's going on right now with this frenzy. But make sure you guys show him some love. He's a YouTuber as well, and he's growing. He's putting out a ton of content. We just had an unbelievable stream the other night talking about XRP. So I'll drop his links down below. Definitely check him out. He just texted me, said he's maybe going to pop on here in just a second. So that would be awesome as well. Maybe I should extend the invite to a couple people too. What do you guys think? Should we bring on a couple people, get their thoughts? Maybe we could do that as well. Bring on a few more people here and get their thoughts and ideas here on what's going on. So if SHIB keeps going down, definitely dropping some cash in that. Zamir, yeah, it's been a little quiet on that front. We're waiting for the big burns, but there's a lot of altcoins on sale still. Prima is waiting for the bulls. Good morning, Zach. How do you think ETH will react to the Bitcoin ETF approval? Saul, I think Ethereum right now is kind of surprising me a little bit, to be honest. We're seeing a little bit of a pop here in Ethereum, up almost 2% now, actually over 2% now. So that's good to see. What'll be interesting here is Bitcoin is flying right now over 45,000. What'll be interesting to see is how long will it take after the Bitcoin ETF is approved for Ethereum ETF hype to heat up? And as we mentioned the other day, Mark and I on our stream, which I'll bring him in here right now, we mentioned this the other day, Mark, is like maybe an XRP ETF could come here before an Ethereum ETF in the United States, given what we know about, XRP, at least in the eyes of retail investors through the SEC, being looked at as less of a security or not a security at all. I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think after we get a Bitcoin ETF, do we see the Ethereum ETF chatter start? Do we see an XRP ETF chatter heat up? Welcome to the stream too, man. What's up?
How you guys doing?
Dude, it's amazing. People are fired up. We're seeing Bitcoin fire back up over 45,000. It's a great time to be in crypto. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I think it's going to just kind of be like a stress test, if you will, kind of what we see in more traditional markets. But that's what's going to happen. They're going to see, because truthfully, we don't even have clarity with anything within crypto. Washington, they're flying blind. The SEC's flying blind. We're just kind of guessing at this point. So when it comes to ETF, I mean, they're going to do the same thing. It's going to be a stress test. They're going to say, okay, is this going to cause havoc with traditional finances? Is this going to hurt the US dollar? Just see what the reaction and kind of how if there's any kind of cascade that comes about from the Bitcoin ETF before they even dabble in to any kind of subsequent ETFs. I think it's something where, you really don't know what's going to be that response. There's a lot of, and it's both, I'm hearing both ways. There's a lot of people think it's going to be an unbelievable magnitude, like an earthquake within the crypto game. And then there's some people that say that it's going to cause a massive panic and sell off, and there's naysayers in that regard as well. So it's interesting. Bitcoin's, I know we're going to pass 45K, that's for sure, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you brought up some really good points, and we were kind of hitting on some of this early on in the stream. And I think a big question is, as Mark Lee puts down here, ETF is coming for sure in 2 days, which is the deadline on Wednesday there. But he believes it's already priced in, so it's interesting, right? Because we went from 16K all the way to 45K. And we know that that's not retail money pushing us from 16 to 45. BlackRock's buying, I think. We know for sure they bought on October 23rd for sure. And we look at that date, tons of cryptos skyrocketed, but we have evidence that they were buying in. I think they were padding their bags for a while now. I guess the question is, will we see a lot of people finally take their profits, at least some of them, off the table? And do we get that 20 to 30% dip? Because people hadn't even taken their profits yet from the big gains in 2023, which is kind of crazy. But I think they're waiting, and they knew that a Bitcoin ETF was coming in January. They're like, well, you know what? Let's hold off. Maybe instead of taking profits at 44, 45K, we'll take profits at 50K or wherever this thing runs to. When we get an ETF launched. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you think it really matters? Because I'll end it with this. It's like, what's your time horizon? Because
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? If you're waiting for Bitcoin to get to 200K, does it really freaking matter? I
No,
mean,
and that's the thing. This is kind of where we're talking about this direction. The crypto people are the crypto people. They always have been. This isn't something new, but we're talking about this wave of new people, right? So look at it from this perspective. You can't talk about crypto if you're a financial advisor. Okay. If you're a CFA, you can't talk about crypto at this point. Okay.
correct.
Now we have a Bitcoin ETF. Now we have, I mean, we kind of have that already in a way, but now you're going to have people coming into your office. Hey, I want to invest in crypto. And now you're going to have something that you can technically push people in that direction. So you have a whole nother non-degen, you have a whole different type and classification of investor coming into the fold. And that's going to cause a lot of FOMO. And look at it from this perspective. A traditional financial investor, right? A stock investor, a mutual fund investor, it's a joke, but like your grandfather, your uncle, just, some older guy or whatever that's never dabbled in crypto is now going to have FOMO for the first time in their life. You never heard the word FOMO ever on, I mean, for the most part on, Fox Business, MSNBC, none of that. And this is going to create a panic. And don't think for a minute that the crypto traders are going to swallow it up. The sharks out there, the whales, they're going to eat up everybody's liquidity. And it's going to be a lot of volume. I really, truly think that it's going to create a lot of opportunities for people to capitalize off of some of this retail FOMO across the board. And that's where crypto is going to it's going to get a little washy. I think there's going to be a lot of volatility. I truly do.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're seeing that volatility even play out right now. I mean, yesterday it was kind of doom and gloom. People were like, wait a minute, what's going on with Bitcoin? It's crazy how things can switch on a dime with crypto. I mean, the volatility is insane. You go up 3, 4, 5% on any given hour. I mean, it's pretty crazy. But what we're seeing right now is a lot of the capital flowing into Bitcoin. We're not seeing altcoins run. If this were a different scenario, if this were not about the Bitcoin ETF, and this were about just generally, hey, the market's pumping right now, it's a random Monday, right? You would see a lot more cryptos like ICP and Injective up 11, 12, 13, 14, 15%. Stacks up 13% makes a lot of sense to me. As I mentioned, that is the crypto project bringing smart contracts to Bitcoin. It runs hard when Bitcoin runs. That makes sense. But you're seeing a couple outliers rather than, 30, 40 outliers outpacing Bitcoin right now. That tells me, and I've been saying this for a while, I think we're going to see a lot of capital rotate into Bitcoin here in the short term. I mean, over these next few weeks here for sure, maybe even longer, where Bitcoin dominance, I think, will tick up. It's already at 53%. I think we could see it as high as 55, 56, 57%, because the institutions are going to pile into Bitcoin first and foremost. Eventually, though, they're going to flip the script. Eventually, people will start to take profits out of Bitcoin. Finally, we'll see a 20 to 25% downward move. It's going to happen at some point. And then that's where I see the next kind of thing that sparks the altcoin rally that I think a lot of people are waiting for. So I want your thoughts on that. And just shout out to a couple people in the chat. We've got Tom from Striking Media. What's up, man? Had a blast on your stream not too long ago. Like button is smashed. Make sure you guys are smashing the like button. We got 430 people rocking with us right now.
Awesome.
So that's awesome. Yeah. So just your thoughts on that, Mark, just overall, Bitcoin dominance, altcoins, when do we see a move?
Correct.
All that kind of talk.
From my perspective, I think what I've been seeing and picking up on, and you probably picked up on the last couple of weeks, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like when Bitcoin has a red day, the altcoins have a red day. And when we talk about good days like such as this, you see how it's kind of like a mixed bag. You got some red, you got some green on the crypto bubbles, but that dominance is kind of taking a back seat because I think there's more of a uncertainty. I think the Bitcoin ETF is providing uncertainty with the altcoins, right? And I think what we're looking for is that certainty and that clarity. You can call it fear, you can call it whatever you want. But what I think is going to happen is once we get these ETFs, Gensler lets them through, they get the approval. Everything goes as we're expecting it to, right? The homework's done. We get everything signed, sealed, and delivered. And we start seeing that volume. We start seeing, this is kind of business as usual. It's still crypto. Then I think the altcoins are going to continue to fire. And I think that's when they're going to get their surge. But I think right now it's just kind of like this intermission, a little bit of a pause where we're not really running in our own direction unless it's and then that dominance doesn't really take effect. I think unless it's a red Bitcoin day, I think that's where we're seeing it mostly. But I think it's just kind of like that purgatory almost, where we just need to have business as usual. And as a crypto trader, you just need to see, okay, the ETFs aren't going to ruin crypto. This isn't going to be catastrophic. Everything's business as usual. Then I think we're going to see a lot of that altcoin pump. But there's only so much of the pie to go around. And I think too, little bit is there might be some, heavy hitters out there just gearing up for Bitcoin more so in basically just putting all their assets and their capital into Bitcoin, playing for them to have the biggest response to their own ETF. I guess that's how I would put it too. So it could be more of just a Bitcoin play, and that's why all coins are a little lagging. But I think it's more of that wishy-washy mentality across the board where people aren't really sure of themselves yet. So that's where I want to see how we come out on the other side.
No, I agree 100%. Somebody mentioned that the SEC's tweeting about crypto. I don't see that exactly, but if you guys want to share with me.
Correct. I actually heard of this. Yeah. Somebody brought it to my attention. It's actually kind of funny. They're tweeting. Yeah, it's on their page. Go look it up. It's actually kind of hysterical, actually. It's kind of like.
Okay. Oh, wait.
It's like, it's kind of like that, like, it's probably a horrible analogy, but it's almost like an undercover cop, like, trying to sell you drugs or something. And it's just like, they're a cop. They're not like, a drug dealer or whatever, like underage. Just, it's something where they're trying to act like they know what they're doing with crypto, and they just sound like they're out left in outer space. Like they have no clue what they're talking about. And they're asking.
They're saying it's on Gary Gensler's page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's I don't know exactly what page, but it did look like that background. It's absolutely hysterical.
Okay, here we go. This is what we got.
So they have no clue.
He says a thread. Some things to keep in mind if you're considering investing in crypto assets.
Yeah. Good job, Gary.
There's no thread. Wait, there's no thread.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, that.
Wait a minute. He said there's a thread and there's no thread.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's comical. They're trying to like.
Gary, this is Greg, the infamous Greg. Will do, Gary. A thread. Consider investing in crypto. Spot ETF confirmed. The
I
comments
wonder
are
if he
going to
got
be
hacked.
brilliant
I wonder
here.
if he got hacked.
You're like a dream come true. I want to be with you, Shibatoshi Nakamoto from Dogecoin. Girl, it's plain to see that you're only one for me. Tell me you're about to prove the Bitcoin ETFs without telling me you're about to prove the Bitcoin ETFs. Thanks, Gary. Did your friend SBF teach you that? Going back from SBF's crazy tweets. Oh my gosh, this is you can't make this shit up. He
No,
literally doesn't know how to use Twitter. He doesn't know how
go
to use
back
Twitter.
on. Go back on. Somebody probably
What, what,
runs it for him.
what the hell happened here?
Go back on the SEC page, and it's where the SEC defines FOMO. That's what it was. They define FOMO for crypto investors. It's absolutely hilarious.
Oh, here it is. He has added to it, but
Yeah.
okay, here it is. Those offering crypto asset investment services may not be complying with applicable law, including federal securities laws. Investors in crypto asset securities should understand they may be deprived of key info and other important protections in connection with their investment. Investments in crypto assets also can be exceptionally risky and are often volatile. A number of major platforms in crypto assets have become insolvent and or lost value. Doesn't that happen in everyday life too? Investments in crypto assets continue to be subject to significant risk. I don't know about you guys, but I've had 3 failed, small businesses. Fraudsters continue to exploit the rising popularity of crypto assets to lure retail investors into scams. These investments continue to be replete with fraud, bogus coin offerings, Ponzi and pyramid schemes, and outright theft where a project promoter disappears with investors' money. So there you go. Gary Gensler warning everybody as we get closer and closer to the Bitcoin ETFs being approved.
I think
But
that did it. Yeah, he covered it all.
yeah, I mean, I want to say this though. What this tells me though, and this is why I think we're going to see a big push for Bitcoin and altcoins could bleed a little bit. People are going to see this and react to it, especially the institutional investors that aren't really into crypto every day like you and I and all of us on this stream, right? They're going to be investing in Bitcoin and Bitcoin only for a little while. That's what I think is going to happen here. Eventually, once they're in the game, they're going to figure it out. I'm not talking about the degens. I'm not talking about retail. I'm not talking about people who've already been in crypto. I'm talking about the new people coming into crypto for the first time. They're going to put their money into Bitcoin and Bitcoin only.
Yeah, because that's where that's where I was getting to. Their investor, their manager, their guy at Edward Jones, what have you. That guy now can tell you basically, hey, Bitcoin ETF, you want it? And it's gonna be profitable for the retail person to get into the Bitcoin ETFs. But I don't know, Zach. I kind of take that thread. It's almost like that. It's kind of like that to me. That seems very dovish, very bullish for
I
all of
agree.
crypto.
It's like,
That
hey,
seems
it's like crypto's here to stay. I can't do anything about it.
yeah. It's
Crypto
almost
is
like
fun. Just be careful. Just be careful out
yeah.
there.
That's exactly what it seems like. It's like
Yeah.
recess or something where the teacher's like, okay, guys, single file line, and everybody's just trying to storm into the schoolyard. Like,
A lot of bad
you know what I
people
mean?
out there. Be careful. Don't talk to
Yeah.
strangers.
Yeah. Walk, guys, walk in the hole, and then everybody just running to go grab that prize first. That's exactly that's how I'm viewing it. I think that's extremely bullish.
I agree. I think this is bullish as hell. So yeah, again, this just came out. So a lot of people now saying that we could get news by noon. I don't know if that's true. 12 p.m. EST might be the announcement. I don't know. Steve, are you finding that somewhere?
It's Monday. It's Monday. So it's first, it started the business week.
Yeah, I mean, so basically from Eleanor's tweet, there was basically everybody is on board. So it says, unless there's a last minute filing from them today, these are the issuers that have handed in all their homework and would in theory be ready to launch this week, guys. Grayscale, ARK, which is Kathy Wood, BlackRock, Bitwise, VanEck, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Fidelity, Valkyrie, and Franklin. So the only group rather, who have not put all their stuff in with the submission deadline early this morning at 8 a.m. was Hashdex, which, other than that, we've got, what is this, 10 other ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 other ones ready to go. Mark, is it shocking to you, because you and I know a lot of people in traditional finance, with all of this happening, is it shocking to you there's still people that say no, you know what? This doesn't change anything for me. I'm not going to invest in it. Does that shock you? I mean, even with what we
No,
know is happening here,
no.
and it doesn't. When will these folks who still have that sentiment? Because there are still a lot of people. There are still a lot of people who are just negative about it, no matter what. Even with BlackRock, Bitwise, VanEck, Fidelity, all of these big players coming to the table, offering Bitcoin to clients, people are still, uh, not bullish on, bearish on. When do you think we really see that flip? Do you think? I mean, is it a year from now? Is it a few months from now? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I I think it's just kind of human nature for me. I think the people in crypto right now have made money off crypto at one point or another in their lifespan, in that cycle. In traditional finance, people maybe on the outside that say, it's just it's a scheme, it's a scam, all this stuff. They don't educate themselves. They don't care. They're probably established as is already. I think when everybody can make money off of it, right? When everybody
Awesome.
can make money off of it, that's when you're going to see this the shift. And then they're going to act like they've been along for the ride the whole time. Like they knew it the whole time. It's just, you see it everything. You saw it with the internet. You know, everybody became a genius, but nobody wanted a computer at first. It's the same kind of principle.
Why? I mean, yeah, and it's just I don't understand it, man. I guess nobody's willing to kind of take the risk, right? Nobody wants to be first, but it pays to be first in every aspect of investing. I mean, we've seen various things change our world, whether it's agriculture, industry, investing in the automobile industry before that was a thing, investing in the internet before that was a thing,
Well,
social media before that was a thing. I mean, and here it is again. Like here it is
this
again.
is
The biggest players in the world getting in. Like, what more do you need to tell you, hey, this is a freaking good idea? I don't
so.
know. It's
Let
to
me
me,
just say something because I got kind of I forgot to say this earlier, but this is kind of what sums it up for me. Okay. And I've told you before, I talked with people that work like back office crypto, corporate side of crypto, like not on the trading side, just on the developing, on that side where they're the people that you don't know exist, but they're there to make crypto work. They're saying that the magnitude for this Bitcoin ETF on crypto is yet to be felt. And it's something that we're completely underestimating. And truly, I think you're going to see this because we know that there's billions with a B waiting to be thrown at this ETF. It's going to dominate the media marketplaces, MSNBC, Foxbit. It's all you're going to hear about time and
yep,
time again. And there's billions waiting to jump in.
I love it. Austin's with us now too. I don't know if you saw that comment. And comment. Where's Austin? Where's Austin at? Probably buying his tidy whities at Kmart.
What the hell was that?
I don't know. Jerry Molinari's coming at you, man, this morning.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't wear tidy whities. All right, there you go.
What do you think, Austin? I mean, what's up, man? What are your thoughts on all of this? We're just kind of breaking.
I caught the last. What's up, Mark?
How you doing?
Caught the. It's interesting to get your take because they're talking about the kind of the backroom stuff. I caught the last of that. I was doing a bunch of research this morning, and I don't think that the numbers. I don't think that the market's priced it in. I think I agree with you. There's billions and there's just capital sitting on the sidelines, right? And I'm talking about retail capital. Retail money's waiting. We're all eyeing Wednesday. I mean, this could be fantastic or a shit show Wednesday. We'll see, right? Whether or not Gary kicks the can and all that kind of stuff. But I think the bottom line where I'm at is that you need to hedge your bets either way. You need to have a smart plan. Don't go all in. If it does get approved, market's going to go up dramatically. We're going to see a pullback, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But bottom line, you've got an army of financial advisors out there waiting to go sell first the Bitcoin ETFs. And people ask us like, well, what's that going to do to Cardano and Solana and all that? But I think Zach or Mark, whoever said it, I think Mark, it was you. That's part of it. But the true value is going to come down to global media coverage, right? Global media coverage is going to be talking about this. And this is crypto's finally arrived, air quotes intended.
It's real.
It's real now. It's okay now. It's good stuff now. Blah, 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 which quite frankly pisses me off in a way. But it's just now that all the big traditional finance has got their ducks in a row and they can make money at it. I was on
I
a
agree.
call with Gary. Yeah, yeah. Gary's my buddy. Yeah, You know,
Did you see the thread that Gary just put out on Twitter? So I think this is extremely bullish. Me and Mark just kind of went over this. Basically, what does this kind of tell you? Basically, he's like, hey, crypto asset investments, are risky and blah blah blah, and just be careful out there. It's almost like, hey, I can't stop this anymore. The inevitable's happening. There are some fraudsters out there, so just be careful. It's almost like
he's walking it back.
yeah, it's like he knows that it's about to go down, and he's
Well,
got to say something to kind of save face.
you and I have said this in multiple videos, and Mark, I'm sure you have as well. By the way, great job on the channel, Bubba. Mark, you're killing it, man.
Thanks, brother.
You and I have said this. I think we've all said this in one iteration or another. Gary is the figure out in front. He's the one that everybody shoots at, is looking at, while a lot of other stuff's going on behind the scenes or away from him. Right? He's the anointed, bearer of bad news, and he's the bad guy of crypto, and he hates us and blah blah blah. Crypto was always going to be mainstream. I think I've always said that crypto is the final financial frontier. And what I really mean by that, it's for the big traditional finance. It's the last untapped massive market, right? And they want in, and they were going to get here, and all this kind of stuff. I think all this posturing that we've seen now for the last 2 years, and all the rhetoric and and I'm talking about from mainstream media, all that stuff was leading up to this event, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, and this is Mark. I want your thoughts on this too. I mean, I'll just throw one little quick point in there, and I'll get your thoughts. I mean, this is so evident to me. Under like you could boil this down to one example for me, right? So you've got J.P. Morgan, and so Jamie Dimon. When he's sitting at the table with Senator Warren and all of these folks, he is extremely bearish. He said Bitcoin's a scam, crypto's going to zero, it's terrible. Yet, who's the number one authorized participant on the BlackRock ETF?
Yep.
JP Morgan. So, and this is what I've been saying for weeks and months. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Because this narrative is going to completely change once all the, I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and they're able to kind of just automatically go from being bearish to bullish. And it's already happened as far as I'm concerned, with Jamie Dimon. I mean, he's saying one thing, but doing another. I mean, they're an authorized participant on the biggest ETF, which is BlackRock's, already. So, Mark, what are your thoughts on Jane Street is also an AP on that as well. But what are your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I mean, I look at the numbers, so like you said, with talk is cheap and numbers speak for themselves. And I mean, like I said earlier, we're talking about billions. I've seen estimates 40-50 billion dollars in the next 2 years, like just from this happening.
Mark, are you talking about billions in fees that the firms are
Correct.
going to?
Money to be made. To be made.
Okay. I was making sure I was understanding it, because I've been saying the same thing, but I love your take on it. So yeah, go ahead.
And that's kind of what it comes down to. Like, and to your point earlier, how people either don't care about crypto, right? They're still the naysayers. Well, they're still going to like the way they make money off people trying to trade assets. And now that we can, well, they're going to love crypto now, because now we can make all these fees. We can do all these new clients. We can incorporate more things on that front, and that's going to create a lot of opportunity for them. And there's going to be a lot more of these. We're going to have a lot more live streams with a lot more ETF approvals and talking about this. And it's just going to be this nonstop media coverage that's never going to end, because we're not really appreciating the magnitude that's going to be felt from all this.
So, Mark, I want to ask you a question, and I apologize if Zach, you've already asked it, but Mark, I want your stance because of your background. There's this rhetoric out there of, right, we've got Bitcoin ETF, right? And the money that's going to flow into the BTF, and I'm talking about traditional ETFs, the traditional finance people, advisors going to their top clients, blah, 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 right? Outside of that, how do you think the Bitcoin ETF approval impacts the Ethereums and the Cardanos and the Solanas of the world? So what's your 2 cents around that?
Well, it depends which way we head from this. If we go into this tailspin where, okay, I can get my crypto traditionally, and then the altcoin realm just falls off the table. That's one perspective. Or if this just completely vaults everything to outer space, then I think you're going to see a lot of like how we've been doing it, but it's going to be even more exponential. Bitcoin's going higher. We're going to take those mothership profits and get into the altcoins where we get more exponential growth, more X's. And it's going to just be a way of trading. It's going to be a way of trading, I think. And then you're going to have your blue blood layer ones. I think that's what's going to really shine through. But I don't know if there's ever going to be a death of the meme coin either. But my fear is, and this is kind of going further, is where does it end? Where do we get this Pandora's box to shut? Where do we get our meme coin ETF? Where it's you're all encompassing. Well, I don't know if Dogecoin or Shiba Inu or Floki, I don't know which one's going to come out on top in 10x. So I'm going to get my meme coin ETF. I'm going to go to Edward Jones and he's going to provide it to me. And then we basically are going back to centralized finance and square one. So that's my fear with this whole deal.
But I think, it's a good point. I think it's a good point. But as long as, the crypto investors are able to invest directly in crypto, like, stock traders invest directly into Apple, right? Instead of investing in the S&P 500, I think we're okay, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're extremely bullish on just say, whatever, Polygon, for example, you can get exposure to it in your ETF or you can invest in it directly, right? I mean, so it's going to look a lot like TradFi, I think, right?
Yeah.
And and the thing that worries me most, and this is kind of, me with my, I don't want to say cynicism, but it's more so just one eye open in this whole process is they're going to find ways to monetize it, make money. They're going to start doing promotions. They're going to find ways to get you in their door to make their fees. And then they're going to find ways to lessen our crypto pot, right? And it's going to be something where then they're going to squeeze us. And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about them squeezing us out, taxes, regulation, get us into this is like their loophole to backdoor us into traditional finance once more in this whole world of centralized finance, without actually having to pass a law to do it. You know what I mean? Or worry about politicians or worry about, I don't even know what you'd call it. The Charles Hoskinsons of the world, the Garlinghouses of the world, like these crypto, the Vitalik Buterins, like we won't have to worry about these people because, Wall Street now owns all of crypto. And that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Austin, do you have something?
I think it, this is an interesting discussion. I'm actually having to think. That's a light day of travel yesterday. I think it'll be probably a hybrid of all of the above in some variation. The fact of the matter is we don't know. Zach, you bring up a good analogy. You want to buy Apple, you can. Apple stock as an example, right? Or you want to buy Apple stock as exposure in an ETF or a mutual fund, you can, right? And I think that we've still got a lot of very little clarity or visibility into regulation. The new IRS tax law that is going into effect. That's horrific. That they wanted you to report on $10,000 if you get, money can move. That's just kind of the first salvo of like, okay, this is how much bureaucratic this crap's going to get. But Mark, that goes to your point. That goes to the point of they're going to throw weird crap at us and laws and things that you can't even comply with. Ultimately, in some form or fashion, I think to drive a lot of people to mainstream. Look at centralized exchanges versus decentralized. What happened. There's people who want to go buy on a centralized exchange like Coinbase or crypto. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because it's easier because it's versus buying on Uniswap or whatever it is. But I think here's what I think. I think if you take just the United States out of the equation and you look at globally, I think you will always be able to buy crypto however you want, but they will try to make it harder to move money, to move assets, to track all that in the cloak of we're protecting you. Whatever, right? So Mark, I agree with you on that, but Zach, I also think I do think you'll still be able to buy it and sell it. There will probably be more hurdles than there are now. For what it's worth.
For
It'll
sure.
become more stable. is
Yeah.
another
Yes.
thing too. I think
Well,
that's
and
the
Especially
other thing.
Bitcoin.
yeah, and the only other thing I will say is that we've all been in crypto for a long time. There are a lot of scammers in crypto. Point, let's call it what it is, right?
Right.
There are, because it is the Wild West. I mean, a project
It's
can
too
launch.
easy. Right now, it's too easy.
It's too easy. But here's the thing, dude. I don't care. It's like gun laws, right? You take guns away from the people that are registered viable owners. The thieves are still out there, still getting their guns. My point is this: you can enact all the laws you want, and there will be teeth in some of them. But who will ultimately be impacted more? You and I, and the scammers and the thieves out there will still figure out a way to do it because they're darn good at that, right? So the whole Gary Gensler text thing you just showed, that's interesting because he's walking it back, but he always leans on that fraud and that scammer rhetoric BS,
Well,
there's
and that
scammers and frauds in stocks. That's all I got.
dude, 100%. And it feeds into that whole thing. Crypto's only used for nefarious activities. Bitcoin's only used for terrorist organizations and bad actors. First off, that is the stupidest argument ever because there's way more nefarious activities done with hardcore, good old cash.
Yep.
Crypto is actually traceable. Cash isn't. It's like the stupidest argument ever. But again, watch these narratives shift. Watch all of this shift once they have control or more control than they do now. Then all of a sudden, it's a cat and mouse game. It's all it is.
But the point of that is that like that scammer rhetoric, a certain percentage of the people out there buy it hook, line, and sinker. And that's part of their rhetoric to keep you out of it.
The message is perpetuated by the CNBC businesses and the Fox businesses and the media. So unless you come to sources like this or other people on YouTube, you're not going to hear that side of the equation. By the way, hit the like button, guys. We got well over 500 people with us hanging out. That's awesome. Appreciate every one of you guys. As Richard said, hit that like button. Let's get some more folks in here. Mark, what are your thoughts on all this?
I almost just rather I take a approach. I'd rather, well, first off, kind of like we're going to take this in another direction, but the other thing I've been thinking about is just abroad. We talk, I think we get biased to how things are just done in the United States. And the goal of Bitcoin, right, is to solve, currency issues and stuff like that's one of the applications in other countries. And you have to understand, we get so blinded, I think, being from the United States. A lot of people in other countries, for one, a lot of people dislike the United States. They're jealous of the United States. They think the United States is arrogant. And it's kind of a thing where they're rooting against the US dollar in a way. And Bitcoin gives them that stepping stone to get ascended in the economic sphere when you talk about how that all has its ebbs and flows and the seesaw effect that you see across the board. But it's just like you said, it's the bad players. I wouldn't be opposed to even just like a flat crypto tax. Who cares? Security, commodity, Bitcoin, not Bitcoin, rug pull, 100,000x multiple. Who cares? Just adults will be adults and just flat tax it and then let the government go their own way. But we're going to continue CBDC talk and, intermediate ETF talk, and Gensler needs to go. That's what it comes down to, though. But
Mark said Gensler needs to go. Breaking news.
Well, I mean,
and what we all agree with. You're saying what we're all thinking as well.
Yeah. In terms of the clarity with the tax law, I think you're right. I mean, they're already talking about how they're going to tax
taxes
30 some odd percent. I mean, which sucks. But like, if we know what it is what it is, and we just,
it's just the same thing as medical marijuana. Is marijuana good or bad? It doesn't matter. We just want to tax it. It doesn't matter. It's all about the money. It has nothing to do. It's crypto, good or bad. It doesn't matter. Just tax it. Move on with your life.
Yep.
Right. Let them get their pound of flesh.
Get the money laundering, get the terrorism and all the illegal activities that stem from like fraudulent blockchain activity. Get it out. That's what you regulate. But let the adults play in the sandbox.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, starting January 1st, by the way, this year, a new U.S. tax law mandates individuals and businesses to report crypto transactions over 10K to the IRS within 15 days. This has come out. I don't know if anybody else has seen this, that it's on stream. You may have heard about this, but yeah, kind of crazy. But it's very interesting because there's a lot of gaps here. I know all three of us looked at this the other day, and it's it's almost like they're strategically making it vague in a lot
Sure
of
they are.
ways.
Sure they are.
And so it's like, meant to scare you a little bit. And it's like, all right, well, let's try to just play by the rules, but we don't even know what the rules are necessarily. Because if you read this, specifically, it's like, again, a lot of gaps filled in here.
A lot of
But
vagary.
yeah, for sure. Long time says the United States will fight anything that has a chance that challenges U.S. currency, even though the gold standard was killed without half the population knowing. Really good point here. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, and I think, the United States is not alone here. A lot of governments are at a point in time where they've never been, with currency and the future of crypto. Things are changing rapidly. And a lot of people just don't know what to do with it. I think, that's why we've seen them kick the can so far down the road thus far, right? But it feels like we're getting
So
close to on the other side.
let me ask, because I didn't hear y'all's opinion, because I was, making content, et cetera. I'll throw this to both of you. Do y'all think it's going to get approved on Wednesday? Percentage wise, yes or no, or percentage? Either way, I don't care. What y'all's thoughts? The Bitcoin ETF, of course.
I do. Yeah.
I do too. And a lot of it's been the coverage from Eleanor. I mean, I think she's been right on it. I mean, so she says here, they're past the official deadline, which was 8 a.m. So Hashdex missed the deadline to basically, cross all their T's, dot their I's, their updated S1s. But I mean, all of these people have put,
You're not sharing, Zach. You're not sharing.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
All of these folks right here have handed in their homework. She said, in theory, would be ready to launch this week. Grayscale, ARK, BlackRock, Bitwise, VanEck, Wisdom Tree, Invesco, Fidelity, Valkyrie, Franklin.
Yeah. So do you think that, because I've been saying this in videos and I don't know if you guys have been saying it, but I mean, to me, it's come down to the fact that this was always going to happen. It wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when, because of two things: the political and financial power / pressure of the organizations who've submitted these ETF apps, BlackRock, Fidelity, and the list goes on. That's why I think it's going to get approved. Y'all's 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
it wouldn't shock me if it was delayed like 12 hours or something, but like I just think it's this week,
or they only approve maybe 1 or 2 of them, or to get it, or something like that, or any variation on this theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I mean the big players are coming into town, and I've been mentioning this a lot. Like BlackRock's not coming in to finish second. BlackRock's coming in to take over, and it's going to happen whether we like it or not. It's how do we respond to that and react to that as investors? And I mean, one of the ways is being in there before, which most of us are. So that's good. Hey, quick plug for Mark. I know he's growing a lot over on YouTube. Make sure you guys go check him out. We go live. We went live a couple different times here in the last couple of days. We had a great XRP live stream. We got a ton of people on that one the other day. And so he's covering all the top cryptos. He's covering ICP. He's covering Cardano. Go show him some love over there, and let's push him up close to 4K over there. He's banging out a ton of videos over there. So I'll drop his link down there.
Appreciate
and he's
it.
also live as well. So yeah. All right. So that's cool. I'll drop that link down there. That should be down there for you guys.
Get Mark. Got to get him up over 5,000 and all that. Get him moving, man.
Yeah,
that's it.
Helps. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
The thing I've been watching, fear and greed index has been coming down, which is good. We're kind of
yes, it is good.
We're kind of watching.
How's the volume? How's the volume?
Overall volume in crypto
in like the last 24 hours? Yeah, overall,
it's up 58% in the last 28 hours.
That's good. That's good to see the volume up, because like nobody's just standing pat. You know what I mean?
No,
like that was something that I expected. All right, we're just going to basically, we're on the sidelines until yes or no, come Wednesday. And that's what I was kind of looking more like overseas. I thought that would be an issue. I think people might just been a little bit tepid. But the volume being up as it is, and like you said, the fear and greed is going down. It's definitely bullish. It's just like I think it's more concerning what we're going to see, how the trickle down effect's going to be with into altcoins and meme coins, and how this all plays out. Because 2024 is going to be very, very interesting, especially as we get closer to the halving cycle, and it's all happening. The presidential election. I mean, you know,
You know what, Mark? I forgot. Honestly, dude, I forgot about the presidential election. Holy
yeah,
shit.
we're so worried about Bitcoin stuff.
And halvings and holy crap. It's gonna be a nut. It's gonna be a crazy year, man.
It is. And I hope crypto gets to the forefront of some of those, the presidential debate. And, I don't like talking politics, and Zach's going to laugh because I always preface when I talk politics saying I don't like to talk politics.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
But I'm going to say what I'm going to say. So you guys are going to have to listen. But
just quit saying you're not going to talk about politics. Just talk about politics.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat knows why CNN hosts the Republican debate, please let me know. That's something I've been always wondering, or if it's just something where it's like, the American League is going to host the All-Star game. Whatever the answer is, that put it in the comments, because I need help with that.
Yeah, that's not your usual suspect that would host that.
I just need help. With that whole. But back to crypto, yeah, it's going to be a crazy 2024 for sure.
Yeah, so many events happening that I think really just kind of lead us to volatility. And, this time right here, I think we're seeing a lot of volatility right now. This is a trader's paradise, right? I mean, this is where a lot of trading, happens. I mean, we saw, out of nowhere, Bitcoin tank yesterday. A lot of people said it was the Asian markets. And now here this morning, we're pumping back up. I'll tell you this, traders are making a killing right now, because these little 3-4% moves, they may not, look like a lot to people who are just holding or, sitting on the sidelines, but people are coming in and out and scalping that 3-4% right now. And I think we're going to see a lot of that with the big events we've got. And of course, we got the halving, which is less than 100 days away. So exciting times ahead. And it's going to be a lot to talk about for sure this year in 2024.
Question.
I didn't ask a question. Yeah, go ahead.
Question for you guys. I'm sure a lot of you guys watch Fast Money out there, but instead of us debating on what the ETF's going to do, what's good old Jimbo doing? I mean, where's he leaning? Because that'll tell us what we need to know right there. Has he been talking about the Bitcoin ETF?
Whatever. You broke up. You say Kramer?
Yeah. What's his sentiment on the Bitcoin ETF? It would save us a lot of effort. We wouldn't even have to have a live stream. We could just.
Whatever he says, we do the opposite. We know the opposite's going to happen. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all. We just need to. We'll get him on the live stream next time and see what he thinks. For
God love Kramer.
Which altcoins he's getting into.
I would love to know. Yeah. Anyway, so I guess all I got.
This is an interesting angle here, guys. Spot Bitcoin ETFs in the U.S. set to ignite a fee war and transform the crypto market, says Pomp Investments. Pomp's the one guy who goes on to all these news channels like the Fox Newses. Shout out to Pomp, Anthony Pompliano. He does a great job just as a crypto voice in the traditional media realm. But he's recognized as an entrepreneur, big time at Bitcoin maxi. But if we scroll on down, he dived into the upcoming spot Bitcoin ETF approvals in the U.S. and the ensuing competition among ETF administrators. His comprehensive analysis covers various aspects from management fees to market predictions. It's a really good point. There's going to be a big time war for who gets what, offering holistic change the crypto ETF landscape.
Here, did you not cover the fee thing earlier? I did a video on it this morning. Did you?
If you want to talk about it? Go ahead.
Let me. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let me move you to a different one. Hold on just a minute.
He says here, a critical aspect of the upcoming spot Bitcoin ETF is the management fees set by each administrator. Pomp notes that these fees are being revealed, signaling the start of a fee war in the industry. Points out Grayscale's GBTC, a dominant player with substantial assets under management, has historically charged a 2% management fee. Grayscale announced that they're reducing that to 1%. Grayscale's CEO was trolling everybody this morning too with eyeballs, basically saying that the ETFs
Yeah,
are coming.
throw up. Yeah. So here's what. So I did a video on this earlier, and it's interesting. So you've got a land grab going on here, right? And a land grab meaning all these companies are now reducing their fees. Like Bitcoin, I'm sorry, Fidelity's dropped theirs to 0.39, BlackRock's dropped theirs to 0.3, ARK is 0.25, and this is the chart that really says it. Like Grayscale Bitcoin, their fee is still 1.5%. Why is this relevant? Why does it matter? Well, Mark knows the lower your fees are, the more clients you can attract. You say, come buy it from us, right? And ultimately, if they acquire that customer, they will keep that customer for themselves and sell them additional products and assets. So this is a massive. I liken it to the old days in the Wild West. A land grab when the settlers were going west. This is literally a land grab right now for these companies to grab clients by reducing their fee structures for the Bitcoin ETF, for these ETF products. So yeah, it's absolutely it's a war right now going on between these guys to grab clients.
So that's interesting because Grayscale looks like they could be drilled out of this if they're still at 1.5%.
Yeah, as of right now, Grayscale's not made an adjustment. They're still just stupidly high compared to everybody else.
Well, it looks like they went from 2% down to 1.5, but if they did that, I mean, that's not going to compete with the point whatever. Mark, what's your take on this?
It's all the same to me. It's just they're going to find ways to make money off of it. I'm not going to use them, but that's just kind of where I'm at on that.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think, what I'm curious is like the institutional clients, here's what I'm interested in. All the institutional clients, they're going to use like these avenues that the people who aren't yet in crypto, they're going to go to their trusted source or whatever, Fidelity, whoever. How long do you think until they figure it out? Wait a minute, I can control my own keys. I can own my own crypto. Do you think that happens? Do you think there's a shift there eventually of like, wait a minute, what am I paying for? Just for you to hold my Bitcoin? I can hold it for free over here.
Yeah, it's like training wheels, right?
Yeah.
Like having your financial advisor hold your hand while you make a move, and then you're like, wait a second, because that's basically what I did when I got into stocks. And then I was like, why am I paying this guy 1% to lose me money? I'll go lose my own money. And it's kind of where this whole journey started.
But Mark, that's the bottom line point, right? The vast majority of people want somebody else training wheels. They want somebody else to manage it for them. They don't want to take active management for it. And we're you know what I'm saying?
That provides a good avenue for a lot of people out there, and it's going to be highly, highly profitable. But it comes down to the old adage too, not your keys, not your crypto. And, we did all this regulation and enforcement against what happened with FTX. And it's kind of what I fear for this ETF deal is we just letting more, more nuts back into the asylum. It's kind of, that's what I fear. We had this nice bear market. We got the institutions out of crypto. We were running clean. We were running on clean oil, and now it's all muddied up again. And that's kind of just where I'm skeptical, but I'm more of a skeptic at heart. So I don't like getting played. So that's probably just my perception, but I'm sure it's going to be fine. I think crypto is going to be bullish from it, and it comes down to at the end of the week, are we going to be in a better spot than we are right now in crypto? And I think the answer to that question is yes, but we'll see how that plays out.
There will be bumps and bruises. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, just a couple things here real quick. Just a couple plugs for everybody out there. Again, appreciate everybody. If you haven't hit the like button, definitely do so. But I've got something to show you here, Margex. So if you guys want to start trading today with up to 100x leverage on some cryptos, including Bitcoin, I've got my link down below. This is a platform with no KYC. Really cool platform. They actually just listed Caspa too. I know we have a lot of Caspa investors. One of our friends in the space, Sam, actually wrote to them and got them to list Caspa. You could do this kind of thing as well. If there's a crypto out there you love and you want to see it get listed here, you actually have a voice. And Margex is really cool for doing that. So links down below. I've got quite a few people trading already using my link and making some money. This is a great time to trade. So if you're interested in that, links down below. And speaking of trading, I've got my XT algo as well. This is a tool. 85% of people are using some type of trading indicator out there. This gives you simple visual indicators to make yourself much more ready to make some profits in crypto or stocks. It can be used in crypto or stocks. And we've got Not Your Father's Capital with a 20% discount on XT Algo, which is a little bit better than my discount. So you guys can go check it out. Mark, did you talk about it in which video? The Solana video? I know you talked about it in one recently.
The recent Solana video and the recent Solana video.
So you can use the discount code NYFC for 20% off. I'm only offering 17% off right now. So if you want to go get it from Mark, you can check out that right there in his description of the Solana video. He'll be talking about it more as well. So just a couple quick plugs there. And what else haven't we not covered? What else have we not covered? I mean, I think we've kind of hit the Bitcoin stuff pretty hard. I mean, as for altcoins, I think it's still a little bit longer until we see a big altcoin rally, guys, with all the attention on Bitcoin right now.
I'll let Mark go.
I just think, like I said, I think it's just we're on the sidelines. I think that's why I was surprised with the volume being where it's at. I think people are just going to be waiting and seeing how this trickles in. There's only so much of that pie to go around. That's the other thing. So, I mean, what's the adoption rate? So we need the adoption rate to go up so that pie gets bigger. And if all this money is going to be pouring into Bitcoin, what's going to be left to go into the altcoins unless that Bitcoin's growing and then people get, I don't want to say greedy, but for lack of better words, they want to go make some more multiples on their hard-earned money. So that's kind of how I view it. I think right now it's just going to be all Bitcoin until we get, away from this narrative, which probably won't happen, especially with the halving coming up. So, 2024 is probably going to be the year of the Bitcoin. But, there's a lot of people that love their layer ones. And with, what we're getting into Web3 and beyond, I think there's going to be that camp of people as well that they don't really care about the Bitcoin ETF because they believe in their blockchain. And, we're seeing ecosystem tokens really thrive. And then, you have those cryptos that are in their own category, like, such as XRP. XRP doesn't need the likes of a Bitcoin ETF. They're out there trying to do cross-border payment solutions, trying to really do their own thing. And it's what we're seeing. And then ICP trying to change the internet, hoping that thing goes well. But it's just kind of, crypto is not just Bitcoin exclusive, albeit people feel that way.
Yeah, for sure. So just a couple of notes here, guys. We've got the ex-chair of the SEC basically saying Bitcoin ETF's a done deal. That news came out. He was recently on CNBC, so that's pretty cool. Also, we're getting multiple reports right now of Bitcoin ETFs expected to be approved on Wednesday. That would be the deadline day. Trading could start as soon as Friday of this week. That's coming from CNBC. So a couple notes there to keep on the top of your mind there. And of course, we'll be covering everything right here on the channel. Of course, I know Austin will be as well. So will Mark. So make sure you guys are following them over there. Austin, kind of final words, final thoughts before we get up on out of here.
Excuse me. I think the Bitcoin ETF approval is an unprecedented global event for crypto. We've never seen anything like it. So we're all guessing as far as what's going to happen on Wednesday, whether they approve or don't approve or whatever, however it all goes down. We simply don't have any historical data versus, say, the Bitcoin halving. We have, 3-4 halving cycles. We have all that historical data. We know what's going to happen from that, from that major catalyst event. And I think ultimately that's going back to what Mark said. That's what it really comes down to for me, is that we simply don't know. We don't have any clue how globally people are going to react. Retail money, institutional money, whatever it may be. Is it going to spike up, to 3 trillion and then drop back down to, we don't know the entire crypto market. Is money going to flow just into Bitcoin? Or is money going to, is there just money who sees this as a global positive event and people start throwing money at everything, including Dogecoin and SHIB? We don't know. That's where I'm at,
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And I think, we were talking about this right at the top of the live stream. It's like, because of all that, and I agree with what you said, because of all that, I don't make any like huge moves here one way or another. Like, you almost got to hedge your bets in every way possible. Like, keep a little dry powder. If you want to chase something, maybe chase it a little bit. Dollar cost average is always a safe bet with Bitcoin, of course. I think it's right. And for
Yeah,
so many people, they have. Oh, good.
the only other thing I would say to you is, and I think you said this in videos, and I know I have as well. Go back. Crypto at its all-time high, and I'm talking about the entire crypto market, was 3 trillion. Bitcoin was 67,000. Ethereum was 4,000. And we are, 40, 50% off of those numbers. And I think that people they're like, oh my God, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss getting into insert crypto name here. Right. And I would always tell you, number one, listen to what Zach just said. Don't just go all in, but remember where we're at today relative to where we were. Everything still is massively discounted. So if we get positive news and everything starts running and you want to get in, be aware it may go up and come back down, but it's all relative to where we were as well. You're still buying at an insane discount almost every single blue chip asset out there today versus 2 years ago. So
Yep.
That's it. So I'm done. Drop the mic. So,
Mark, your thoughts as we close things out?
Just a final thought on Bitcoin. I mean, and then thing I go back to is like when that supply is all mined out, when that's all gone, like conceptually, like in theory, Bitcoin becomes basically flat. There's not going to be heavy volatility. It's kind of.
Did we lose him?
yeah, we lost him since he's mobile.
Yeah. Mark, we'll see if he bounced back here. But I think the point he was trying to make was, eventually Bitcoin's going to get a lot less volatile. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? I mean, people are going to look at that as kind of a safe place to put their money, kind of like the S&P 500 is, right? And some of these ETFs. And then a lot of the attention will shift to, I think, more risky assets, ones that could go up higher, like Ethereum, like XRP.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how long it takes, Austin, for all the people who are going to dive into Bitcoin for the first time, how long it takes for them to then start going down the line and looking at, okay, what's next, right? Ethereum could 10x Bitcoin in this next bull run. Is that what I'm learning? Wait a minute. XRP is even lower than that. It's only a $40 billion market cap. Man, there's a lot of upside here. Oh, and Polygon and Chainlink. Wow, there's a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah, the only thing I agree with you, but I mean, go back and try to put your eyes on when you just got into crypto and you went to CoinMarketCap the first time and you just saw this massive list of all these assets and you didn't know what the hell they were, what they did, and anything. And I think I get that all the time. I'm north of 50. All my friends are north of 50. They know about Bitcoin. They don't know what the hell Ethereum is, as an example, right? And they don't get it. They don't understand. And these are smart guys and gals, and thus they don't want to. Hey, he's back. And so I think there's a barrier there. Is all I'm saying, Zach. Is that Bitcoin's easy. However you want to classify it, and I think that's where we're got to get back to. That shot of you right there, Zach, looks like your high school picture with the blue background. I literally just look at you and you look like you're poised for your high school, your yearbook picture. Hey.
Oh, tilt your head to the left. Tilt your head a little bit to the left.
It does. It looks.
Remember how they used to tilt your head? You're like, what the hell am I doing? I've never looked like this in my entire life. Somebody said screenshot when Mark froze. It was freaking hilarious. I wish I would have took a screenshot. Nate, hopefully you got that. If you did, hit me up on Twitter or hit Mark up on Twitter. Send that out in the interwebs. But Mark, I'll let you finish your thoughts there on Bitcoin. You were talking about supply and everything being mined. Go ahead.
Yeah, just the theory of Bitcoin, when it's all mined and there's no more, right? It's going to become stable. Like it's going to be a stable transacting currency almost. And that's kind of where, if you take that maxi mindset, none of these other altcoins, they're all doing their own thing. It's separate from what the greater good, if you will, of crypto. It's just going to be two different things. It'll be Bitcoin and then there's crypto. So it's kind of just, which way do you want it? Do you want the crypto world, or do you want a crypto world with Bitcoin? And I think that's kind of why this week is important for that future.
Yeah, like 77K Thomas here chimes in. Would you rather buy Bitcoin that might 2x or a token that can, will likely 10x or more? A lot of it's risk appetite, right? I mean, for a lot of people, Thomas, it's like, Bitcoin to 5x is a big deal, right? I mean, because they're not used to those type of gains. They're used to, earning 7%, 8% of their money in the stock market every year, and that's good for them, right? It's just a different mindset. I think what Mark said is really true. And I think because Bitcoin is going to get bigger here over time and it's going to produce less gains, it's going to attract more interest into your XRPs, into Polygon, into Chainlink, and all of these other top cryptos that have tremendous upside. And quite frankly, like you said, Thomas, more upside, right? But with more upside comes more risk, So um, let's see here. Jerry says, thanks, guys. Appreciate you all. Here's to financial freedom. Have a good day. See you on your stream, Mark. Thanks, guys. Peace out. So Jerry Molinari, shout out to Jerry, man. He's been here day one since I started on YouTube back in freaking January of 2021. So Jerry, you're the man. Appreciate you, man. Great stream this morning. He said, appreciate you, man. Really, really do. Corey says January 10th. That's the deadline. So listen, guys, this has been an awesome stream. We've had a ton of people at times, almost 600 people on stream. We're still almost, just shy of 500 right now, but we're going to go ahead and close up shop. I got to make some videos. I know these guys got to get back to it too. And make sure you guys check out all of our channels. Again, it's NYFC Capital right here. I'll show it to you on screen one last time. Bang. I'll drop his down below. Austin is just his name, Austin Hilton, over on YouTube. Same here. If you're watching on this channel, make sure you subscribe. And we appreciate you guys. We'll see you. We'll see you down the road. And should be a huge, huge week for crypto. So make sure you guys are locked in to all of our channels. And yeah, looking forward to a big week. We'll see you.
Thanks for coming. See you.
Stay back here, guys, for a second, if you would.